All righty, welcome back to the Wilder Minds podcast. We're back in studio today. Looks a little different in here, doesn't it?
I'm in a new seat.
You're in a new seat. You're close to me, buddy.
How about that's okay.
Well, it all starts with a bapple.
Now I can cheers you and not have to lean over every
I
time.
know. This is kind of nice. The reason why it was just the two of us is Casey. He's here in spirit, but he's actually right now live at the Cabela store. I'm sorry, live at Bass Pro. That's where he's at. He is live at the Bass Pro Shops. Casey, where you at, buddy? What do you got?
Yeah, I am. First off, I'm wiping my tears because I see a couple of bapples flying around the old studio there. I do not have one of those here in this new Bass Pro Shops, but yeah, I'm in Duluth, Minnesota right now. We're getting ready to open a brand new Bass Pro Shops Outpost store here. Grand opening and ribbon ceremony is tonight. And first things first, I've been in a ton of Bass Pro and Cabela's. This store is absolutely badass. This is probably the best Cabela's Bass Pro combo store I've ever been in. So, it's super exciting. And flew into Duluth last night. And, Duluth is what it should be right now for northern Minnesota. It's 40 degrees. It's rainy. It's nasty. But for me, I love that weather. So it feels pretty good being up here. Actually kind of makes me want to be even further up north, but I'm sad because I'm not in the studio.
Well, it's crazy. First of all, the Busch Light apple is so good. That first sip all the time.
We're almost out of it.
I know. Every time we take the first sip, I gotta have another one. On your behalf, Casey, I'm gonna pour one out for you here.
Into my throat.
So
no, don't pour one out. You can't do that.
Yeah, no, I won't pour one out. It goes right in the gullet. Well, the reason I'm not with you is because we have Jason and I actually have some other life stuff that's happening, which is our oldest children are graduating. And you'll be interested to hear this, Casey. Graduation was canceled today. It's moved to tomorrow.
Inside, not outside.
Yeah.
Well, that's
yeah.
Well, I'm kind of solo here, so that's par for the course.
It's par for the course, but the weather is so bad. You mentioned the weather being bad there. The weather is so bad here that they canceled graduation outside today, and they moved it to the gym tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. So they had to bump it. So it would be still tomorrow, but it's inside because the weather, and it is crazy, man. It's like 40 degrees and raining here, and it does. It feels like fall. Like it feels like a morning that you wake up in Anchorage, and you're like, oh, we're going hunting. Like I felt like that this morning.
It's been bad. I was texting back and forth with Sean Stahl, Winchester. Our buddy with Winchester. He does all the R&T stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What is happening?"
Yeah.
He said it's just been a weird spring.
Yeah, it's
with
terrible.
the turkeys and how they've responded, and it's just a different. But it's been so windy.
Yeah.
It's been so cold. And it's been crappy, rainy, and it makes the amount of water that we've been getting a little concerning for the hatch, the turkey hatch this year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No doubt. I mean, this swing from 75 to 40 and then these 28-degree mornings, I mean, we were hunting in pure frost like a week ago.
Yeah.
This is just unlike anything we've ever had all the way to June. It's just crazy. And the weather's the same out there where you're at. I see the sign behind you, the instinct sign. What are the chances you grab that and put it in your pocket and bring it back to the studio? That is a sweet sign.
Oh, isn't that nice? It's a good setup. I'm telling you guys, this store is phenomenal. Like, if this is their new footprint and how they're doing everything, it is really, really awesome. But going back to the weather, if anybody's ever been to Duluth that's listening to this out there, everybody that's been through here, about the hill, right? Duluth comes down off of those big kind of Precambrian rock shield down into Lake Superior. And you've got Superior, Wisconsin, you've got Duluth. Well, there's spots on the hill that you can go and you can pull out, sit in a parking lot or like an overlook, and you can see all of Lake Superior. Not all of it, but you can see for a hell of a long ways. And I went there this morning, and I pulled out there and just jumped out of the truck and was just kind of sitting there taking it all in, 40 degrees. It wasn't raining at the time. It was just kind of nice and cool. And the very first thing I thought of is I felt like I should be in Fairbanks.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, man, this feels like Alaska weather to me right now. And then to come here in the store just furthered the itch. Like, now I got to go. I don't know. We're not supposed to go until like August into September, but based on what's going on here today, I got to go right now because the feel is just incredible. So I hear you on the turkey hatch and the amount of rain, but God dang, it feels nice.
It does. Is there anything better, honestly, though, like that first fall crack? I know we're waiting for summer. We haven't really got it. But that first fall, like, okay, I'm putting my sweatshirt back on. Like, there's something about that crisp for me that's like, okay, like I am excited to golf and I'm excited for the summer to hit. But at the same time, I really do like fall weather. It's my favorite.
Love it. And it's the funny thing about people in Michigan is in the springtime when it's 50 degrees, you got shorts on.
Yeah.
You've got, you've been in the winter. So us crazy idiots, we put shorts on and a T-shirt on. We're outside.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in the summer, like August, late August, when it's like, 65 degrees in the morning, we got our hoodies on.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's complete.
It's the opposite.
The opposite.
It is. I have the old Jeep. I got the old Jeep out the other day. Was driving around, no top, no doors, and it was 30-some degrees in the morning, and I was like, this is a good crisp morning to drive a Jeep with no doors. I felt like it was beautiful out, and then I realized it was 38 once I really started going. I was like, all right, I'd probably turn around and go get my truck. So I went back and got the truck. But, yeah, it is. It's funny. That first crisp morning is something about it.
Yeah.
So
I'm assuming that with the weather nasty going on there, since I left, you guys have not killed any turkeys.
No, we have not. As a matter of fact, the fields that I check, it hasn't been warm enough. I mean, so there was a couple days where it was super warm right at the end of last week, and we were super successful. I mean, I think we talked about it in the last podcast. We knocked them down, and this field just was full of birds. And now it's cold, and I'll just see one hen standing out there looking miserable. So I have not hunted since we've been back, Casey, from our trip, but right before we left, and I want to get into a couple different stories here, but right before we left, you had an experience with Ryder that was an amazing hunt as well. So you guys were able to double up, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, so that was the last hunt that I was on prior to you and I taking off on the road. We were kind of getting down to the wire. And, it's funny because we've been hunting and guiding with all these people and just taking other people out and doing our thing. And I started looking at the calendar and I thought, well, holy hell, like with the travel that we had to do going to the pyramid and then coming here to Duluth and then going down to Nashville, it's like I was looking at like maybe 4 or 5 days left to be able to hunt in season in total.
Yeah.
And so I started to panic a little bit because I had to get a bird, Ryder had to get a bird, Gunner has to get a bird. Like we still got some birds to knock down. So I kept Ryder out of school the other day, and school was in session out in the timbers of Michigan, and we were able to get on a couple of birds, and we had a hell of a hunt. The way that hunt set up, it was brand new permissions. The birds were way tucked back 500 yards off in an inside corner of a field that had just been planted. But, I was lucky enough that the property next to it, we have permissions on as well. And there is a 2-track that runs 500 yards inside the edge of that timber all the way back to the corner. So, I mean, it just worked. You get those hunt scenarios. You guys know what it's like. When you see birds, you're like, I mean, it's over before it's over. It's going to happen as long as you can close the distance on them. So we were able to do it. We closed the distance. We got all the way to about 150 yards. And that's where I thought, like, all right, I'm comfortable at 150. We can make it happen from here.
Wherever your adventure takes you, count on Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's to make it memorable. From the timberline to the campsites to the lake and the range, get your family outfitted with the right gear. With premium brands like Worldwide Sportsman, Ascend, Instinct, Redhead, and Natural Reflections, they've got the apparel and the gear to make it the best adventure ever. Stop by today for a one-of-a-kind shopping experience in-store or online at BassPro.com and Cabela's.com. See for yourself at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's stores. Your adventure starts here. All right, let's talk about beer for a second. You ever notice there's a big difference between Busch Light drinkers and other beer drinkers? I like to say we live on the wild side. A guy with a Busch Light in his hand, he's a man of the people. He's out there in the wild every day. He's in the trenches smashing bushies with a smile on his face. You know why? Because he doesn't care. He's not looking for a soulmate. He just needs something to wash that damn jerky down. And he's got himself a 12-pack of Freedom in a can. And when that can gets cracked, it's like opening a door to a whole different world. It's just a vibe. And if you haven't felt it, you should. So go grab yourself a case of Bushies, give them a rip, and take a walk on the wild side. You've got things that matter. Memories, heirlooms, documents, firearms. And we all know that life is unpredictable. At Winchester Safes, they make sure life's unpredictable moments don't take those things from you. They use state-of-the-art methods that refuse to sacrifice quality. They put everything they have into their products, offering proven protection and peace of mind. There's only one safe company worthy of the title, the American Legend, and that's Winchester Safes. Follow at Winchester Safes or learn more on winchestersafes.com. Let's talk about Mountain Ops, a brand that I rely on to fuel my fire in more ways than one. I could sit here and talk about how undeniably essential Ignite is to my daily life. I could explain the benefits of the Super Greens, and I could ponder out loud how they got those Super Greens and Super Reds, for that matter, to taste so damn good. Or I could just give you a quick look into who they are as a company, because to me that matters more than anything. So here it is. They recognize God and acknowledge His hand in all things. They believe in being worthy of others' trust. They're reliable and honest with their information. And lastly, they take full and personal responsibility for their actions and the outcomes. There you have it. If you want to learn more about Mountain Ops and stay connected, check them out on social media at Mountain Ops or head on over to their website, mountainops.com. And remember, if you want to save some cash, use code Keefer.
I saw the footage of the turkey hunt.
Yeah.
He's right. He got within that 150-yard range. That's that buffer.
Yeah.
I feel like once you, what he said was, if you guys didn't catch it, was once you get inside that buffer zone, you see a certain amount of birds, and you do say, they're dead.
Yep.
This is over. If we can just get to, and then that's the whole hunt.
You're no threat. A lot of times, unless it's angry time,
yeah.
which you can pull them from 400 yards.
Yeah.
But unless you're not a threat unless you're inside that 120 yard perimeter. Once you get in there, you're a threat.
Yeah.
And they, with very little effort, can come your way and try to kick your ass.
Yeah. They can. In this case, he had Ryder with him, and it was an awesome double T-Rex run, as we call it, when they tuck and they just start coming. And at that point, it gets so exciting because you just know they're going to come to the deke and they're going to start beating him up. And Petey did his job. He just showed his ugly face, and sure enough, he came in. So
you and I, though, we still have our tags.
We still have our tags. I've got like a couple of birds located. I'm just waiting for the weather, man.
Yeah.
That's what we need. I
looked Thursday. Tomorrow looks okay, but I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday, if you're going to be around this weekend.
I'm here.
There's this bird in.
I sent you a picture. He's there
every day. We have a reveal camera. It's really on this. It's just a dusting, just where they dust, and they don't really eat or anything there. There's some bugging they might do. Yeah. This little food plot.
Yeah.
And they come in there and they strut in there and they dust in there.
Yeah.
Almost every day.
Yeah.
And it's between like 10 and 1 o'clock most of the time. And it's just, I'm going to put my time in there. I'm going to set up on that bird, and I'm going to kind of hunt him a little bit. I'm going to soft call throughout the day, get in there probably 9 o'clock. And just wait till he comes in.
Yeah. I was going through the reveal the other day, and I saw that in there, and I just sent it to you, and I was like, this bird, he's got to go down.
And he's the hookopotamus.
He's
got the massives.
I've got two. I've got the lodge bird, and he is the same way. He is a very wily old bird. He's a big bird. He comes through certain periods, certain times, but the other day I had him by himself, never answered a call. I know he's by himself. I can see him.
Yeah.
He just walked out of the field. Like you got to almost hunt him like you're hunting deer. You got to really, I've got him patterned. I know where he's coming and where he's going, but we're just going to have to sit on him and see what happens. So I got that one, and I got one over by the house there. The wily old veteran, as I call him. He's been
the one that's left.
He's the one that's left. He's been around for about 4 of his buddies getting jelly heads blown off. So he knows. So it'll be interesting to hunt that one, but he's the one left of that entire property right now.
Well, what I'm in recent today is, so in the last, week, I've been going through a lot of our old Rival Wild episodes.
Yep.
And just kind of looking at some of those old hunts. And it's funny, speaking of the kids now graduating tomorrow.
Yes.
we had them hunting together when they were 7 years old,
So
8 years
small,
old.
yeah.
We were taking them out turkey hunting, and I just was watching that episode of Gibb miss that
Yeah.
giant gobbler. This thing was so big I could hear like his feet going into the sand. He was like 2 yards away from us when we were filming him.
He was tight.
And it was just tough, and the pattern's about the size of a softball at that point, and Gibb missed him, and he was heartbroken.
Oh yeah.
Hit it, put his head in the dirt, and was crying, and
Yeah.
we were doing our best to
rally
him back, and Kai was there. You guys watched from a distance,
Yeah.
and then the next year, we both filmed. We both were filming, and he ended up shooting that one, his first bird.
That's one of the most epic shots because it's in the snow.
Yep.
That's the one where he shot and it was snowing. And there's just like a light snow, and you guys are hugging. And it was just one of those like slow motion Winchester moments.
Yeah, we still use that that footage to this day. But I think what I'm kind of dying to get to be a part of is just that classic setup in the timber.
Yeah.
Gobbler comes in, struts, gobbles, slowly works in, struts around the decoy.
Yeah.
And I just feel like at times those are the toughest ones to get.
Yeah.
It's not that it's easy, but it is. It's a little more predictable when you can get a PD in a field during angry time.
Yep.
And they're going to come in. That's a recipe for success. But with this old bird that I'm hunting over in that food plot, he's a perfect candidate.
Yep.
And I'm going to use 2 hens.
Patient bird.
Not going to use a gobbler, not going to use a Jake.
Yep.
I'm going to use 2 hens
Yep.
and play it old school,
Yep.
just like I did 20 years ago.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens.
No, I agree that we haven't had that yet this season. I haven't. I've had a lot of amazing hunts, but it's been a lot of, bringing them from 400 yards across the field, a lot of, but I've yet to get in tight, call, answer, call, come, show up, and it's like, there they are. It's been a lot of just like incredible hunts, but nothing to that. There's Casey. He's back. You back there? You got us?
Oh, got a little bit of technical difficulties, but I'm back. I think I just deleted 25 videos of my kids as infants, but it'll be all right.
That's all right. It's all about the memories, right? They're up in your head. So, no, we were just.
Well, I think what he went strong with. I'm not very good at these computerized devices.
Oh, that was
Ernie.
That was one of the best lines, Ernie. I'm going to have a whole episode dedicated to Ernie at some point so we can tell the story of Ernie. But, this old guy he's a mentor of mine. I've talked about him before in multiple different areas, but he said that when we were up on a cat hunt. Someone handed him a radio, and he goes, "I'm not good with these computerized things." And I'm like, "It's a radio." And he's like, "Whatever," and just walked away. I was like, "Okay, that's how you spend time in the mountains."
Well, that's when you've got the guy who's won Pony Expresses.
Yes.
Which the very the antithesis of the Pony Express is taking mail from one location to the next. The opposite of technology.
Yes, he actually carried the mail.
Yeah,
he did. He carried the mail. So. Yeah. So, no, we were just talking, Casey, about we haven't had that classic hunt yet in the timber, bird strutting coming in. We've had a lot of angry time. We've had a lot of PD stuff. But this weather hasn't been conducive to doing that up here in Michigan. And our birds just aren't reacting the way they used to react at this time. And we got a lot of permissions, but we just still haven't got that official, like, okay, that's the turkey hunt you think of.
Yeah.
We haven't had that yet.
Yeah.
So.
Just the weather in general has been strange. I mean, hell, we were in Memphis down there last week, Chris, at the Pyramid, and that storm stretched from like Memphis all the way up through our hometown in Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys that were doing the bowfishing deal, how many of those guys were like, we got flooded out, we got rained out, we got this, we got that. Like, it's been weird, man. It's been a strange spring, but we'll get after it. You guys, we'll find it. We got some time.
We have time.
So speaking of that, let's get into that story for a second. That was Casey and I had quite the weekend. It was an awesome weekend. I got to tell you, bow fishing, I have not done it, but this crowd is my new favorite individuals. Man, this is a die-hard crowd, wouldn't you say, Case?
Oh, it is. These guys. I mean, these dudes are all about just going out and shooting fish, having fun, shooting fish, and getting rid of as many invasive species as they possibly can. It was wild. I mean, that's one thing I didn't expect going there. I've heard about bow fishing. I know people that have done it. I don't know anybody that does it hardcore, but man, we got down there and that opened my eyes. It is a full on culture all into itself. And right now, I'll be honest, it is growing like wildfire.
Well,
I mean, it's crazy. The rigs that these guys have as far as like boats and stuff goes. I mean, I don't think I've ever, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. And, Memphis being down there at the pyramid, you're in the prime location. You got, obviously you got Tennessee right there. You got Arkansas. You got a lot of these guys coming in, Alabama, Mississippi. So they're coming from all over to take part in that U.S. Bow Fishing Open. And it was rad, dude. I had a hell of a lot of fun.
it was so fun. I mean, so it is growing, and it's growing because of people like John Paul, JP Morris, Johnny Morris. These guys, we talked about this over the weekend. I mean, Johnny Morris is, without a shadow of a doubt, probably the greatest conservationist since Theodore Roosevelt. Honestly, he is incredible. They've done so much for that. But, JP's got a passion for bow fishing. And so to have this U.S. Bow Fishing Open right there, it's a huge cash prize. And just the people that were there, and you're right, the rigs, the teams. And so we go down there. Casey and I will go do these things with Bass Pro and Cabela's. That's where he's at right now, obviously, another grand opening of a Bass Pro. And we travel around and we get to meet all these people that come there. And this was just different because it wasn't our normal hunting crowd. We were there to just kind of have some fun.
Yeah.
And so we get down to the pyramid. First of all, I've never been to the pyramid before. Okay,
Nope.
So this is my first time. And
Yep, never been.
I'm going to tell you something, like worth it, 100%. We stayed at Big Cypress. We stayed inside the hotel. I went on the balcony and I was in a store.
Yeah.
It was one of the coolest experiences. The rooms were absolutely gorgeous. I go through the room. It feels like I'm in a log cabin. I walk out on my balcony, and I'm literally in the store. Store's closed, and I'm looking down at the entire store. And inside of this store, they've got a kind of a river system like all Bass Pros.
Yep.
They have the river system, giant sturgeon swimming around. Boats are actually in the water inside the store.
Yeah, I saw some of those pictures.
Unbelievable, right? So we don't know really what we're doing. We just know we got to be down there at a certain time. And so Casey and I go down and we meet everybody and we're saying hello. And other guys that were there, we had Kevin Van Dam, who is my favorite. The man. KVD, obviously one of the greatest bass fishermen, if not the greatest. The GOAT. And just a goat of a human, right? We can talk about that too, Casey. I mean, Kevin is the salt of the earth, the most amazing guy, and he's all about connection.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about him.
Yeah, the thing that's cool about KVD is the guy has caught more bass and won more tournaments than I think anybody in the history of the world. But he's just content to sit around and hang out. And chat. I mean, he's such a cool guy, and he's so laid back, and the information and the knowledge that guy has from how many days on the water is unreal, and he will share it with anyone and everyone. I mean, I think that's probably one of the best things about him is, he's an open book. I always say that about like me and Chris and how I try to be. I'm an open book and try to help people any way I can. KVD's the exact same way.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows he's been able to carve out a hell of a living fishing for bass, and he loves to share that experience with everyone. So I couldn't hear if you mentioned Bill Dance or not, Chris, but I mean,
Bill,
having Bill down, like you got those two guys. Has there ever been two greater fishermen in the same room? I don't know that there has.
No.
You remember this? Gone fishing with Bill Dance today.
Bill Dance made me laugh harder than any other fisherman in the world. The Bill Dance bloopers will keep you going for days. There's ones where when he loses that motor, trolling motor, I'm telling you. So Casey and I, we got to meet Bill. He in his old age, he's up there, he's doing it. He kind of had a Weekend at Bernie's look going. He had the sunglasses on inside, and it was like but he was there, man, and he was as witty and funny. He looked over, and I don't know, take this as a compliment. He looked at me and said, "Oh," he goes, he thought I was Martin Truex Jr., the NASCAR driver. He's like, "I thought you were Martin. I was going to talk to you about NASCAR." And then we had a good talk, and Casey and I got a picture, and we're hanging out and chatting with him. He's just Bill again. I mean, what a legend that guy is. I mean, started it all from a television perspective and fishing, man. Wow.
TNN Outdoors.
Yeah.
back in the day, I was really into bass fishing.
Yeah, bass fishing.
Smallmouth fishing in
Yeah.
general. But back before Outdoor Channel, there's
Yeah.
TNN.
Oh,
TNN
yeah.
Outdoors. He was kind of the catalyst for
Everything.
a lot of that
Yeah.
growth. In him in the Tennessee hat.
He was wearing it. He was rocking it.
In the whole thing. And, like, him and Jimmy Houston were kind of like the guys.
Oh, yeah.
It's just I have a couple cool stories that we'll get into at some point. But
Yeah.
with KVD, I got a cool story with KVD. So years ago, you remember when we were doing stuff with Plano Synergy? So we actually helped launch the KVD line of lures and stuff with Plano back in the day. And he's not even with Plano anymore. I think Strike King, I think.
Strike King, yeah.
But we were up in northern Michigan in a lake that I won't release.
Yeah.
It's a secret lake. It's an unbelievable smallmouth lake.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And so we're up there shooting, and we got Leachos, and we got our crew, and we're doing the whole thing. We're getting some drone shots, and he's backing his Toyota in there and backing the boat into the water and taking off across the lake. And we're running a drone over him at 50 and getting all this stuff. Well, we go out and we need a couple fish for the for photos, for video. He's like, all right, how many you need? We're like, I don't know, a couple of them. He's like, all right, I'll be back in like 15 minutes. He goes out. He comes back. In 15 minutes later, he's got like 3 to 4 pounders. Like 4. Like, who can do that?
Yeah, who does
that?
Yeah.
And it's just like that was the GOAT moment. It's like Tiger Woods. How many? You're at 150 yards. I need a couple shots within a foot.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
Live.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll do it right now.
Yeah.
Like he's just that good, and he really knew that lake. That's one of his home lakes that he just loves to fish when he goes up north. But the greatest dude, a Michigander, Kalamazoo boy.
Yep.
And he loves to hunt too, obviously.
He does love to hunt. We talked to him about that a lot. Casey and I were talking to him about his turkey hunting. He had Fred Zank and Toxie, and the guys came up to hunt there from Mossy Oak, and he was telling us all about it. He manages that property. He's got a sweet piece of property. He, like I said, all around salt of the earth guy, and he likes to have fun too. Him and I went to a Luke Bryan concert together once. I can tell you.
Do you remember?
I don't remember. So and it was funny because he said to me, he goes, "Was that you and I at Luke?" And I go, "Yeah, it was. It was." So he obviously we like to have a lot of fun too, but he is the salt of the earth and just a good dude. So we got him, we got Bill Dance, we've got Tim Wells, the Slock Master, the man, the myth, the legend, the Slock Master. Every time I see Tim, I think of him in that old Rage commercial with the Velociraptor and like whatever that giant dinosaur is. I always think of that, And so there's Tim Wells, and then our old buddy Pigman. Yep. Brian Quacca was there. I haven't seen him in forever, and to see him and just to get a conversation going, he is Pigman. Oh. He is, again, he's just Pig. That's who he is.
Jump in real quick. You mentioned Jimmy Houston. Jimmy will be here tonight.
Oh,
and I'll be with Jimmy. Roland Martin's also going to be here, so I'll be with Jimmy and Roland tonight, which, again, I mean, going back to legendary bass fishermen, but for anybody that has never seen the bloopers of Bill Dance, like some of these younger kids, if they haven't seen it, you got to go watch it.
You have to.
I mean, there's some of the greatest outtake blooper videos of fishing. And the funny thing is damn near everything that Bill goes through, like we've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if there's a couple taught me, one is, the trolling motor is awesome. One of the things is that rod tips and ceiling fans don't mix. I don't know if you guys ever
I remember that one.
I remember
that one. Yep.
Whatnot. When a snake falls in the boat, I mean, all those bloopers are just, I mean, you could waste hours on YouTube watching that stuff and just laughing your tail off. So pretty damn funny.
There's one YouTube video that's about 15 minutes long of nothing but Bill Dance bloopers, and I could watch it 1,500 times over. I probably have. I mean, I've watched it because I just laugh. I mean, boat accident, he's even just putting a boat in. He forgets to put the plug in. He starts draining the boat. He starts falling out. I mean, it's like there's and he's natural. This isn't staged. This is before, and his reaction is always the best because it's just like, what are you doing? And he gets so angry at whoever it is, but it's like you could tell it was absolutely natural.
Yeah, he's something else, man. I feel like there is a few that might have been set up, like I've watched him so many times. I'm like, that didn't feel as natural as the other ones. I think he started reading the headlines on his bloopers, and started giving some more of them. But on Jimmy Houston, real quick, this was back in 2000, I think, before the Trade Center. I was in New Mexico for a shoot with Ray Howell. We all know Ray. We love Ray. This is way back in the day. So I'm into camp, and I'm pretty new. I'm just out of college. And I'm filming, and we're doing some stuff with Ray, and I've got another camera guy. He's down there as well. I look across. We get in camp, and I look across the room, and I see this short blonde guy. Like, his back's to me, but it looks like he's got a blonde wig on.
It's like
There's
the
a guy,
Ric Flair of fishing.
yeah. There's a short guy kind of humped over with blonde wig.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, who's the blonde wig? And I look over, and he turns around. I'm like, holy shit, that's Jimmy.
Yeah.
So we spent a week in camp in New Mexico. He was really focused on mule deer. We were focused on an elk. In I think day 2, Ray and I went up and shot a 6x6. I didn't. I filmed it. But that's the one that's still in my basement to this day. It was a smaller one.
Yeah.
And Ray flew out. He's like, do you want that 6x6? I'm like, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first time I've seen an elk, like, in my life on
Yeah.
the ground. You know, Flatlander from Michigan.
Oh, that's funny.
And, yeah, so anyway, Jimmy was there for that hunt, and that was I always remember him on that. That was back when he had a hunting show, too.
Yeah. Go ahead, Case.
Talking about reactions and Bill, I want to talk, Jay. I don't think that we've even shared this story with you yet. So we ended up, so Chris told you there's boats out in the water inside the pyramid while we're down at this bow fishing thing, right? And on the boats, they actually have a bunch of these Oneida bows, and they've got everybody in the tournament can sign up to do this shootout, like literally inside the store, standing on boats. They threw these targets out in the pond, and everybody was shooting, right? So all these people come through, and they're running a tournament, and they get down to like the final. I think it was like the top 10 contestants or something. And so they're like, all right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to do the final. But in the meantime, we're going to get all these guys up here that are here on behalf of Bass Pro and Cabela's, and we're going to let them have a little shoot-off, which meant that Chris and me and the Slock Master and Pigman and all of us had to go up there and shoot in front of this massive crowd of people that are diehard bow fishermen. I am not a diehard bow fisherman. I have never fired a bow fishing bow in my life. And so we had to get up there and we had to shoot. And let me tell you, it was. You want to take it from here?
Sure. I'll take it.
Humbling, maybe?
Yeah. Let me tell you, you can already predict the reaction that I had, which was, had I not been in front of about 1,500 people, I would have thrown that bow. I'd have broke that bow in half and thrown it out. So I get up there, and I've never fired a bow fishing bow in my life, as Casey says. And I literally said to Tim Wells, I go, Tim, like, walk me through this. I obviously knocked the arrow. I get it. But, like, button pushing, he's like, yeah, you just crank it up, throw it in there. He's like, pull it back, shoot it. Its fingers is light. And he's like, shoot, and then reel it in. Well, there's more to it, okay?
Yeah.
So we get up there. It's the two of us. They said, all right, Keefer brothers are going to go first, and they're going to compete against each other. So we get up there, and we're first. And I'm like,
nothing to learn from.
Nothing.
You're dry.
I got nothing. I'm dry run right now. And I'm like, this is going to be brutal. So I get up there.
And I saw there's hundreds of people around this lake, and basically they're in the background when you guys are shooting.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, it's safe. They're behind stuff, but, there's a lot of humans watching.
The entire Bass Pro at this point has been there. Right, Case?
Every one of them knows what the hell they're doing. Like, these guys are diehards.
Yeah.
Like, they are diehard.
Yeah.
I'm used to shooting fights back, not fish.
Yeah.
So we're not.
So everybody that's watching is judging based on the fact that they're all here to shoot a tournament, and then here comes me, basically. I get up there. So I grab this bow, and I'm ready to go, and I don't know what the difference is between any of them, but I'm like, look, I'm an archer. I can shoot. Like, let's go. So Tim knocks everything for me, gets it all ready the first time, hands me the bow. So the first shot, right? I'm like, okay, this is great. He's like, aim low, and if you think you're aiming lower, aim lower than that. And he's like, because it's going to be, the water and
the reflection.
Okay, got it. So I'm like, and these are they got this awesome setup with this carp. These fake carp are out there in the actual water and stuff, and they're 10, 15, 5 feet. They're all over, right? So I pick a good broadside one because I'm like, I need a broadside fish.
Behind the
I need a good
pectoral
broadside
fence.
fish. So I first one, draw back, and I let go. Boom. I miss it. It goes over top of it, and it sticks in the actual, like, bottom of the pond.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tank.
So this is something that he didn't talk to me about.
Code word,
What's that?
bottom of the tank is concrete.
Yeah, it's concrete. I'm stuck in the bottom of the thing. So Casey, he shoots. Of course, he hits one, right? So he's reeling his in. I'm stuck. I say to Tim, I go, what do you do? I'm pulling on it, but I'm like, what do you do? And he goes, well, you wrap it around here, and you use your bow, and you pull it. So I'm like wrapping this stuff up. I'm pulling on it, and then it comes loose. And I'm like, okay, so I didn't know that was
a time limit, or what's going on
No,
here?
it's just a race to see who could get the first 2 in the boat.
Okay, gotcha.
So I wrap it around this thing, and now I'm using my bow. Well, that was new to me. I didn't know that little thing up here was meant for those things when you're stuck, and then you use your bow to pull the thing out. So I get that done. So I get it up there. I pull it up. I get it in. I knock it. Well, what I was doing is I knocked it, and then I reeled it all the way super tight, so there's no slack.
Yeah.
Well, when I would pull back, it would come off the knock.
Yeah.
And so I put it back on the knock, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And it come off the knock again.
There's no.
And it's all slippery because now I'm wet. And I'm like, okay. And the whole time, Casey's he's just shooting, reeling it in, shooting. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So in the entire time that it took for Casey to shoot 2 fish and reel it in, I fired my bow twice. I fired my bow the very first shot into the cement, and then I pulled it out, and for 5
fired
minutes,
it at yourself?
I fought this knock. I turned around at one point and looked at Tim, and I was like completely away from the crowd, and I just go, what the fuck is happening? Like so angry, and he goes, I don't know. And the guy from Muzzy was there, Chris, he walks up to me and he goes, is something wrong with your knock? And I go, you think? And so he puts it on. He goes like this. He pulls back. He goes, no, it's fine. He hands it back to me, and I go, well, Jesus. I tighten it, and I go, it falls right off again, and I am now in the red zone.
Yeah.
Red zone.
Lots
and I am
of
like,
people
a lot
watch.
of people watching, and I am.
There's whispers, heavy whispers. In
Oh,
the crowd.
they're going, look at the idiot over there with the bow.
If you would have heard the guttural growl that came like the 7th time the knock came off the thing, it was not unlike a grizzly outside the tent. Just.
Oh, I've never been, I could feel the blood pressure coming up, and it was coming up, and I'm like, I was literally, and then I'm like, okay, it's good. So Casey shoots the second one. He's reeling it in, and the whole time I'm thinking to myself, please just shoot a second one.
Yeah.
I gotta get off this.
Yeah,
boat.
we gotta get off.
I gotta get off this rock.
Get off the rock.
Shut it down. I gotta get off this rock. So we literally, he brings it up, and he's like, oh, and then Tim Wells just proceeds to have a heyday with it. He's like, I mean, you just got your ass handed to you. And I'm like, you think? So, I mean, it was so fun, though, to, like, do it all. But I'm telling you right now, red line. Line.
Which, by the way, real quick, we got to give credit where credit is due. The Slockmaster's one hell of a chirper. I mean, some of the chirps that he felt during this thing were unreal. There's one guy that came up and weighed his fish on weigh-in day, and he was in the running for $100, and he went strong with, there you go, you might have got yourself $100. It's enough for you to repaint that boat. He was
something.
People out there.
He was something.
Relentless.
Some guy weighed his fish, and he goes, all right. He goes, 60-some pounds, and he goes, that's great. Come back when the winners are here, and we'll show you what it looks like to be a winner. And then guy just walked off with his fish. I mean, he was a good MC the entire time. So we go through this, in quotation, celebrity shoot-off, as they called it, and we just had a blast doing it, and it was intense. And then everybody got up there, Pigman shot, and he went against Tim, and then Kevin Van Dam went, and then JP shot. And I'm going to tell you something, JP, now there's someone that has absolutely bowfished before, because in 31 seconds he shot 2 fish and reeled it in, and I didn't even have the bow knocked in 31 seconds. So it was an absolute disaster, but JP shot like a champion, and rocked it out, and it was just a fun night overall. But it even got better because after we were done with that, the captains had to come outside, and when we get outside, we're going to lead the boats out. Well, they didn't say that we're going to lead the boats out with Austin Dillon's 3-car and the Winchester vehicle. So first thing happens, Casey jumps in, shotgun inside the Winchester car, and is like, I'm taking her for a hot lap and I'm like, drive it like you stole it right out of Austin's car carrier. I mean, and that thing has got some torque.
Oh, God.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I've never been uptight like that to one of those cars. Been to races and stuff, but I've never been right next to one. When that thing fires up, I mean, dude, you feel it in your bones. That was pretty cool. It was just, talk about a send-off for a tournament. They had the police department came in, they threw the sirens on, fired up the number 3. looped around the pyramid once and then led all the captains in their boats out of this big long drive that leads into the pyramid. Everybody got led out of there to go fish for the evening. So it was just, I mean, overall, the whole experience of being down there, seeing that culture of bow fishing for me was probably top notch. I mean, Jay, you know that like waterfowl, in a way right now, waterfowl has like a subculture kind of underneath of like traditional waterfowlers. Bow fishing is very much the same right now. So that was pretty cool. Getting able to shoot in the store was badass. And then, you know, ultimately I think I decided like it's time for a boat. Like we got to get a boat. We got to make it happen.
Yeah.
The thing is, you know, not bow fished myself. You talk to these guys and they're like, oh, well, you don't bow fish. Where do you live? And I tell them, oh, we're in Michigan,
Saginaw
you know,
Bay.
got the Saginaw Bay not far. And they're all like, they all like, it like hits them. They're like, wait, what do you mean you got the Saginaw Bay? And I'm like, well, yeah, I live like 15 miles from the bay. They're like, you realize that's one of like the greatest bow fishing destinations in the world, right? I didn't. I'm not going to lie. I had no idea. I did not know that it was that good. So, yeah, I think maybe it's time for a boat. Maybe we got to hit up the old Saginaw Bay.
Yeah, Case, there's and I have this weird knowledge of bow fishing because I grew up here, and that's kind of what you didn't have much money. You had a John boat. You stand up on the front of it,
and we saw that. We saw a John boat with a 15 horse, and we saw rigs with air on the back. I mean, they had it all. There's $100,000 rigs, and there was $1,000 rigs.
And there's tournaments where you go out there and you go in the bay. You go right out of Linwood, and you fish all the way up to Tawas. But it is so good. It's so shallow. There's so many carp. There's sheephead. There's everything in there. But it is growing. And back in the day, I produced like 3 bow fishing videos for PSE, way back in the day. So Ray Howell was really into it. Pigman. This is before we ever produced anything that he did. That's actually how I met Pigman back in the day, was through Ray, and they had done a lot of bow fishing together. They were on PSE's staff, and that's how we created Pigman the series. Is that first year and that connection with Ray, and bow fishing and the whole deal. So we need to get out here. We need to get a rig, and we need to go out, and you need to figure out that
it's happening. We're getting the rig, and Tracker makes an incredible rig, and Casey and I immediately went from our waterfowl boat to the bow fishing boat that can become a waterfowl boat pretty quickly. When we were down there talking to everybody, it's definitely going to happen. There was a moment where I was standing with Johnny Morris, and him and I were chatting, and he said one of the funniest lines. He goes, he's taking it all in, Johnny's there and he's watching all this and he's laughing and just enjoying what he loves, right? Is people coming together and family and all this stuff. And he looks at me and he says, you might be a redneck if your son's name is Dale Jr. and your name's not Dale. But you might be a redneck if you're shooting carp off a boat in a Bass Pro Shops pond. He's like, that is not the most redneck thing that I've ever seen. And he just thought that was the cat's ass throughout that entire time. So that's what it was. And then for us to lead out those boats, and we stopped and we were waiting, and we waved out over 100. There was over 100 boats, don't you think, Case? I mean, at least 100 boats that went past us at that point, entries that were coming in. And that led us to the weigh-in the next morning.
What type of fish are they shooting out there?
They're shooting carp. But they're shooting grass heads, big or grassies, big head, Asian, which is silver, and then I think it's just a common carp. Yeah, and there was like they were doing, and some guys had shot gar. I mean, anything that was legal you could, but these guys that were going for these big grassies, that's what they're pulling in.
Well, it's overall weight,
80-pound fish.
And I'm sure there's big gar. There's probably individual big categories.
There was. So the winning team did 808 pounds worth of grassies. I mean. And the one fish, 70-plus pounds, Case, was that one big grassy, I think, was the winner in that one?
The biggest one, I think, was like 76 pounds. So.
Yeah, 76 pounds.
Jesus.
So
I think after these at the Saginaw Bay, when they there's literally tons and tons of carp that they pile up, and farmers come in, load it up, and to their fields.
So that's exactly what they did with this, and that's the best part about it is these fish are invasive species, but they don't go to waste, right? So they had a refrigerated truck, and when they're done, the boat's pulled up, they put it inside there, and it went off to make fertilizer. So the whole thing is all about fish fertilizer, and that truck was full to the top, and that's what they did. They made sure nothing went to waste, and that's the key of all of it. Even though it's an invasive species inside of it, they got rid of it, and they ended up making fertilizer, which is really cool that they thought of that stuff.
Hey, real quick, you guys are going to have to finish this one without me. They're getting ready to polish the floors in here, and so they're giving me the old get out of the way so we can get ready for Grant.
All right. Well, that sounds good.
I'm going to have to jet.
Yeah, tell everybody we said hi out there. Wish we were with you. Enjoy the night tonight. Send us some photos. And if you're in that area, go see Casey over there. Go see, by the time you hear this, he'll be gone. Go to the Bass Pro Shops and visit it. That's what we want you to do. So
there you go.
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Fisher out.
Yep.
See you, Case.
See ya.
For some of us, the hunt never stops. Grizzly understands that more than most. Rugged, reliable, and built to never back down. Whether you're on the trail, by the water, or deep in the dark timber, Grizzly is by your side. Tough enough to take on the wild and ready for whatever you can throw. Grizzly is committed to products that never let you down. Always on the hunt with Grizzly.
Out here in the wild, precision isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. Leupold Optics is built on the foundation of American craftsmanship, where every features function first. For over a century now, they've combined dedication and technology with a relentless put-it-to-the-test attitude, creating optics that stand up when everything else stands down. When it matters most, you need the best. That's what you get with Leupold Optics. While other companies out there warranty failure, Leupold guarantees performance for life.
Some call it out on the trail. I like to call it the road less traveled. The kind of place where the going gets tough. That's where Tracker Off-Road comes in. Made for those who won't back down. Tracker Off-Road delivers the hardest working machines with the greatest capability at the strongest value in the industry. Built by those who know what it takes and designed for those who don't turn back. Tracker is dedicated to delivering machines that let you get the most out of your day and your dollar. Ready to take on your next adventure? Go with Tracker Off-Road.
Every shot counts. And when it's time to make it count, you want the best. Winchester Ammunition has built its legacy on a commitment to innovation by continuously pushing what's possible. In the heartland of America, the American legend crafts ammunition that's purpose-built, reliable, accurate, and ready to perform no matter how harsh the conditions. Whether you're hunting or shooting for sport, Winchester will be there.
All right, so well, Casey had to go. They're going to clean the floors and get ready for the opening tonight. He actually was in the Bass Pro prior to it actually opening, so he was in there doing some stuff. So he had to bail out for a little bit. But just to wrap up on that entire trip down there at the Memphis Pyramid, incredible experience down there, amazing place. And again, I just give kudos to Johnny, JP, that entire team at Cabela's, Bass Pro, what they're doing. I think that open is incredible. The people that were around. It was one of those weekends where your soul is full. Like, it was laughing, fun, outdoors. I walked away from that just like smiling. Like, it was just one of those, and I'm not a bow fisherman.
Yeah.
I just walked away and I said, that was such a fun event with so many things that I got to do, and I was just blessed to be able to be there and be a part of it. And I just thought it was such a cool thing. And the night ended with us sitting around a table. There's 8 of us, that same crew, sitting around a table, eating pizza, drinking Busch Light, talking about conservation, talking about stories, and I just thought that was an amazing time. Then everybody got up and went to bed, and Casey and I flew out the next morning after the weigh-in. So all in all, just a cool weekend. It was a quick one, but definitely worth it. So a lot of fun.
I think that's you talk about being blessed, just being part of that family, that Bass Pro Shops family, Cabela's family. I mean, it's we've been in the industry for a long time, over 2 decades of doing this stuff. But I don't think there's one partner that has made us feel that unified with other pro staff and other members of their team as Bass Pro Shops Cabela's does.
They what they do for conservation, and I think our industry as a whole I think all the companies need to step it up a little bit, because I think a lot of people rely on Johnny and Bass Pro to do what they do, and they raise millions upon millions of dollars and they put back into the conservation side. But I think instead of relying on them, I think they need to contribute a little bit more. I think our industry needs to get a little bit more unified. We had a great conversation around some of that stuff, and I think we do a lot as hunters, and I think we do a lot as fishermen. But I do think that, there's a lot of corporations and companies out there that maybe just rely too much on what they're doing, and they just need to really start thinking about it and just take a page out of his book and what he's been able to do. And I think,
the vision. It's the visionary type of stuff. And I think there's a lot of outdoorsmen. They say, hey, what I pay in my tags goes to benefit. But at that point, you're letting the state dictate where that money goes. Yeah. And you don't know. There's so many places for that money to go. And some of it's transparent. Some of it you just don't know.
Yeah, some of it you never know.
You don't know. So, but when you put it into a conservation organization like with Johnny Morris, it's transparent. He's not making a dime off of that.
He doesn't need it
for one, but he's not making a dime. So, to have the vision for him, he's at the point in his life where it's just all about giving back. It has been for a long time for him.
It has. Incredible partner, incredible weekend. And like I said, Casey's out there at another one. We're both supposed to be out there, but now he's doing another opening out there. We're going to continue to work with those guys. They're we've been with them for 14 years. So it's a partner that we're just never going to not be with. They're just incredible. And because there's no reason to leave. They make it easy. We make it easy. It's a great partnership. We're blessed to have them. And all the way around, I just, was again just a smiling weekend. Yeah. So it was worth it. I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed it.
Yeah. So. And there's so much good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Their Instinct line. There's so obviously we get to look at that stuff. We just got done doing a photo shoot a couple weeks ago with some of the stuff. It's incredible. And the stuff, they're stepping their game up.
Absolutely.
And they didn't really need to, but they decided to.
Yeah.
And they're stepping it up. And the stuff that's coming out is incredible.
I'm telling you right now, guys and gals, when you see the Instinct line at Cabela's this fall, and it's coming out in July, you are going to, for what the price is, and there's no middleman with those guys. So they can keep the price affordable for the person that's hunting, but give you the quality of one of the high-end, Western-type hunters or one of those brands that's out there. But I'm telling you, we've been able to work with them, test it, rip it, shred it, fix it, make it again. I mean, and that's what I love about it. And, we trust it. And right now, to bring that Instinct line back with them and be able to work with them as much as we are with their, with their people that are in there, they're incredible. They're thinking of things that are just mind-blowing, the materials that they're using.
Yeah. And they're open to suggestions,
They're open to it. And I'm telling you right now, you could walk into a Cabela's and get a layering system from the merino wools all the way through the Instinct line, the different pieces that they have, and you would be set. You don't need the big, bulky. You can use the Instinct for just about anything. And I'm just super proud of where it's come from, the new colors that are coming out, some of the new materials,
boots.
the pants,
the
boot
boot line is
everything.
incredible.
Socks. I mean, we're talking.
Socks are incredible.
Socks are made with the right materials, and they ask you the right questions. And just so everybody knows, when we do these hunts, we literally fill out paperwork on what this thing is. We take samples, we give it back to them, and they listen and they make the changes. And it doesn't matter if it's going to cost them a little extra. They make those changes, but they don't pass that on to the consumer. They make those changes and they do it right. And the Instinct line that's coming out, if you haven't checked it out, you've got to. It's coming out in solids, and it's coming out in an incredible camo that it's in, the VSX. I think that's incredible. So all the way around, I'm excited for where the partnership's going. I'm excited for what they're doing, and this Instinct stuff is baller, straight up. It is. I'm excited about it.
Yep. And the VSX looks so good.
I mean,
you don't realize. I mean, you realize it was a good-looking pattern, but when you start taking photos, when we were in Ohio and you were out there, kind of in those rocks, I couldn't even see you, man.
I know.
Like it's
slick.
incredible.
It's slick. I love the design of it. It's an upgrade from back in the day with the Octane and some other stuff that was out there. And I think I posted a picture the other day, and someone just said, "What camo is that?
Yeah,
like, what is that?" And it's like, it's coming. It's Instinct, and it's VSX, and you got to check it out. It's pretty amazing. So we've been in it now for over a season and a half, 2 seasons of testing. We're going to have a whole new set of gear going into drop this year that we've been working on with them since last fall. And the puffy jacket, I mean, come on.
Puffy.
The puffy. Wait till you guys see that. And I can say it because it's out right now. The Kodiak brown puffy jacket is from Kodiak.
Yep.
We took it to Kodiak. and we tested it out there, and it's just, I have two of them. One that I wear around town, literally, and then one that I hunt in.
One that was greased up.
It was
because we were
greased up.
catching halibut and cod.
We were fishing, and it's all greased up on the front. I was like, I can't wear this hunting. It's got fishing grease all over, but I'll wear it to church. So,
Sure.
so I put the brown jacket on, and I wear it all over the place. I mean, it's incredible. So, yeah, you guys got to check it out. If you're listening and you want to go visit, click on Instinct, get into that entire system that they have right there, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, man.
yeah, it's good stuff, man. Well, what else we got? Our kids are graduating. Other than that.
Oh my God! I mean, it's just it's crazy. I mean, we had the senior awards last night.
Both of our kids honor roll, cum laude.
Yeah. And this at Dow.
Yeah.
The amount. I mean, they're smart kids there.
Smart kids.
Unbelievable. Like
Yeah.
our kids had like a weighted 4.2 GPA, and
Yeah.
there's like 200 kids in front of them.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like,
I couldn't believe it.
What?
Yeah.
Are we talking about here? Not 200, 100, but
Yeah,
whatever.
still.
They worked their butt off, and both of them going to college next year, and it's pretty wild. Things are coming to an end for high school.
It is.
We've got baseball will be wrapped up, in the next couple weeks,
Yep.
and we've got playoffs coming up, and yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I'm suppressing all of my emotions as normal, basically with Kylie and empty nesting and leaving and all the things. So I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can right now to not think about it. But it's like you see him walking across the stage tomorrow. It's going to be something.
Yeah.
And it's fun. We're going through all the pictures for the graduation, and I sent you a couple pictures because we're going through everything. And there's pictures of Gibson and Kylie like at the dinner table when they're like 5, and they're having like a candlelight dinner, like
With a deep discussion.
Deep discussion.
It's like, what are they talking about?
What is the conversation going on there? And then we've got just pictures over the years of all of them. It's just so cool to see. And now they're going off and doing their thing, and they both have amazing college career. Gibson's going to play baseball at Northwood and an amazing school. Kylie's going to Fair State University. So between the two of them, they're going to be close. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's a different phase of life. If we're
Next chapter. Start of the next chapter.
Yeah, I'm just so proud of both of them. So it's pretty cool.
Sure.
Pretty cool. So that's what we have this week. Jason and I are doing the graduation ceremonies, and I'm not going to lie to you. After they graduate and we go out to dinner, I might get blackout drunk just because I can celebrate. I got her through 12. The rest is on her, but I got her through 12. So it's going to be we got all the way through, and to, like you said, to graduate with over a 4.0. I couldn't even spell 4.0 when I was in high school.
Oh, it's unreal.
My thing, we found my report card in one of the barns that my dad has and my mom out there, and Kylie was looking at it, and at the bottom it said hopes to graduate and major in sports. Right on my I wrote major in sports, and I look at it and it's like a 1.6 something, and I'm like,
well, there you go. That's sports. Yeah,
I was sports. I was playing sports. I thought I was going to be in the NHL, so that didn't work out.
We found some of Darcy's old report cards, and at the bottom of them, she's a lot to say. She's always got a lot to say. It was down there. And it was like her sophomore year, freshman year. She's gonna kill us for saying this, but she had like a D in religion class, and the boys just rip her up and down. And for some reason, our boy, I wasn't a great book smart student.
Oh no, it's terrible.
I found value in the outdoors and sports and all that other stuff. I never saw the value in looking at a book.
No,
I never envisioned my vision for my life. Did not include math.
No,
it did not include geography, or I guess geography got in there. But for me, it was just experiences. And then it worked out. Somehow worked out.
I'm with you. I think school's built today for certain, people, but I can tell you when I was coming up, I didn't know what it was, but I do now, which is, again, from an entrepreneurial mindset, school at a young age, like high school, it's not built for that. Because you need to be creative and free-flowing, and you don't fit in a box, and that's who I was. I didn't fit in a box. I didn't get good grades. But yet I had a side hustle. I was making money. I was doing things that didn't necessarily relate to the books and the grades, but I was doing things that later in life I was like, oh, that's why, because I don't fit in that box. And I know there's a lot of kids out there that I talk to, especially, coaching and hockey team, and you sit with these kids and they're like, I don't understand what the problem is. I'm like, I do. You're not. The school's not fit for this.
You don't fit in the system.
Exactly.
And,
and when you don't, it's okay. If you're a kid out there and you're trying to struggle through that, it's one thing if you're not putting an effort in. Okay, but I would put an effort in and try. It's just that it was not resonating. It was
Yeah.
boring to me.
Yeah.
It really was. That's what it was. School was boring to me. I kept thinking of all the things that I could be doing. I could be out on my farm. I could be out learning nature. I could be, playing hockey. I could be working out. All these other things in life, and it just didn't resonate for me. So I know that's a common kind of conversation that pops up every now and then. Is someone says, "Well, he was really bad in school." It's like, well, it's just school's not for him or her. And I've seen that more and more as I'm getting into like mentoring with kids again, within the coaching aspect. They're smart kids, but that's just they don't fit in the box.
Yeah, I think the entrepreneurial spirit isn't cultivated enough outside of junior achievement. They do a really nice job at trying to get youth in the the business side of things.
Yeah.
But there's not enough. There's DECA and other programs like that, but I still feel like there's the outlier kids.
Oh, yeah.
And you look at him, and I can see him from a mile away. I'm like, yeah, he might not be great at school. He might be somewhat of a handful. That kid's going to be successful.
100%.
I know what he's doing outside of these walls. I know that he hustles. He does X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
He loves this. Mm-hmm. Those are the kids that are the successes.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of kids that have started businesses that got 4.0s in school, but I think, I don't know the numbers, I would say it's probably less that have, that are book smart, that go in and, there's just the mathematician side of things.
Yeah.
I mean, that life, some people just, it fits in their mind like that. To me, yeah, maybe you're doing a lot for society, and that's great. But, man, I can't imagine the art and creativity, what we do every day, that can't really truly be measured by a grade.
Yeah.
It's hard to measure that.
Yeah.
And, I think it's just kind of, that's why we do what we do. We weren't great at school.
Yeah.
I wasn't great at school. But when you find your passion, the creative brain.
Oh, yeah.
Once I found those classes in college, it was an A.
Exactly.
A. But until then, it wasn't great.
Well, I would say something a little bit controversial and say that I know more 4.5 plus students that work for 2.0 students than I say the reverse. And I mean that because when those 2.0 creatives get out of there and they find their groove, chances are they're the ones starting the business, running that, and building it with the right team, and they need those kids that are the mathematicians and the amazing, smart individuals to raise it, but it takes two different types of levels of individual, one to run it and one to dream about it and one to think about it and the other one to actually execute it. And I think over the years, that's been our secret sauce with the three of us and what we've been able to do in kind of individual skills. And I think when you find that, it's pretty amazing. And I think these kids today, they just want to celebrate the win. You've got to celebrate the work above and beyond the win as well. Like putting in the work, and I know it's a long haul, but patience over everything. And at the end of the day, it'll be successful. And I'm having more and more of these conversations with the kids that are graduating, and we're seeing our kids' friends, graduating, and what are you doing? And they're like, hey, coach, I'm thinking about, and it's like, that's a real thing. But I would say, try it all at that age. If I could look back and say, when I was 19, 20 years old, I'm in college and whatever, but I mean, I was a deer guide, and then here we are today. Try it all, kids.
Yep.
If you're out there and you're listening, try it all, but no matter what, try it all at 100%. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Don't try it all half-assed. Try it all at 100%, and then you'll figure out where your passion is.
Yeah, and I think a lot of kids, I was one of them, didn't realize, and this is back before, I guess content creation was where it was. It's available for everybody now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, in late 90s, it was only a couple ways to create content.
Yeah.
The creative mind, the creative person now has so many outlets.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing. But I will say this, a lot of students that I have that come through the college in my classes, they don't realize that there's an opportunity to make a career out of something they love until they sit in my class.
Yeah.
And I start laying it out for them and say, hey, you can do this, and this could go to this, and this leads to this.
Yeah.
They're like, I never knew, I love to do this. I didn't think there was a career in it. And even to this day, a lot of these kids don't understand that. But it just takes getting out there.
Yeah,
and following your gut, following what you love. You can't go wrong. And you might not be able to find a lot of guys say if you follow your love and your passion, you'll find a way to make it you're living, you can.
Yeah.
You definitely can.
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
might not be at the pay scale you're looking for and other things, but the pay is relevant.
But you have to be okay with that.
That's
You
right.
have to be okay with that. And if you want to make more, you have to gain more skills.
Yep.
And you have to gain more knowledge, and that's what it is. It's about climbing that ladder. So I wish all these kids the best of success. It's a crazy time to talk about it, but our kids are graduating. That's what we got this week. It's going to be a fun week for everybody, and get them out of there. I think they're both ready. I think they're both way over it at this point, which has been fun to watch. So, and Casey's out there in Minnesota, and it just turns out par for the course. I'm supposed to be there, and then graduation got canceled. So I could have been there, but I wouldn't have been able to fly back anyway for tomorrow. So, but anyway, what a great week all the way around. It's been fun. Next week we'll be back again, and Casey will be back in the office, and we'll be sharing more stories of what's happened on Wilder Minds. So thanks for listening, everybody.
Mama say it's a new day song.